Hey there, Capricorn. It's Jen here from tarotspirit.net. I am doing your 2019 overview reading. So I'm going to pull some cards for love, then for career, and some overall spirituality cards instead of pulling one card for each month. So let's jump in. This is your love reading part. Well, I'm going to pull some more cards. I see you doing something that you like to do. So whatever your sort of hobby is outside of work, unless what could be your job if you're lucky. But if you like to walk or knit or work on cars or whatever your thing is, I see you doing that, but I see you spending a lot of time daydreaming. So it's like you're really crushing on someone, and it's just occupying a lot of space in your mind, which is, neither good nor bad. Yes, you definitely. So there's this new passion. You can read pages as people, but I see it as a new energy right now, and you're really, if you're either totally crushing on someone, could be someone younger than you, or there's this new spark between you and someone else. And it's one of those things where it's so intense, you're constantly thinking about them. Like you can barely concentrate on your work. They're always sort of on your mind. You guys are texting each other a lot because it's a honeymoon period card. The Knight of Wands, this is that, really passionate energy. You can't keep your hands off each other. Energy out on the table as well. But there's something about it, either you're self-sabotaging the relationship because you're looking for like you're scared. You're like looking for something to be wrong, looking for red flags, or you're not. I feel like you just don't trust yourself. Like in the past, your relationships hadn't gone so well, and you had ignored red flags, and now you're like, oh my god, I don't want to. I don't want to ignore anything. So you're almost looking for things too much. So just be careful. Like, if someone, what's that saying? If someone shows you who they are, believe them, but don't almost manufacture things by overthinking things because you're so afraid of getting in a bad relationship. And hey, I get it. I'm that way myself. I feel though like okay, so for some other people, this other person is going to treat this relationship very traditionally in the sense that they will pick you up, you will date, you will go on like either a certain number of dates or date for a certain amount of time before they want to, take it physically to another level. They'll want, it's going to follow. And maybe you're just like, oh my God, like, I don't want to wait. I don't need to wait. I'm not old fashioned. And they're like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this the right way. They open the door for you, or, you guys get really dressed up when you go out, things like that. So it'll be kind of fun. I think it's like a big long tease, and you're kind of um, frustrated sexually because you're like, come on, let's move it along. So um, for some, I think there's a fear to jump into it, and for others, I think you feel like it's not happening fast enough. But it's like it's like foreplay, right? Adding to the mix. There is this Two of Swords. So this is a decision. So maybe some of you are already in a relationship, and it's, it's your relationship, you're tempted, let's put it that way. And you're like, maybe your current relationship isn't horrible, but it definitely has none of the fire and spice anymore. Maybe you've gotten comfortable and you're trying to figure out, okay, has our relationship just moved to the next level? Um, and where we're out of the honeymoon period and but we're growing closer, more intimate, or is it really has it just fizzled out and now that the chemistry is kind of um, we're kind of over that honeymoon period, do we just not are we just not really, is there no substance behind the relationship anymore? But this new relationship, but then you're overthinking because you're like, well, this new relationship, I don't know, maybe the same thing's going to happen. So it's kind of like, you don't know what to do. And I mean, none of us know how relationships are going to go till we're in it. People are just so, we all have our own quirks and things. I mean, sometimes you don't even know till you're married because you can get married and people can like flick a switch and be like, okay, now that we're married, I can just like check a box. Now that we're married, check. I can let myself go, or I can stop doing things that I used to do. And I'm not trying, that sounds super negative, but I'm just like, there has to be some sort of acceptance that you just you have to be in it to figure out if it's gonna work. Um, but yeah, there's some spiciness there if you want it coming up this year. There's also potentially marriage, and you could find this person. You could meet this person. So this is the other thing. So if you are one of the people that's in a relationship that's kind of like fizzled out, and you could meet this new person doing something that they're connected to something you really love to do. So you guys have a lot in common. It's really interesting. I heard this has really stuck with me. Deborah Silverman, she's the astrologer. I'm sure you guys know her. Um, Someone asked her, like, what are the most compatible signs? And I'm paraphrasing, so I may not have this exactly right, but she basically said the more similar you are, the more compatible you are. She said, yes, opposites attract, and you're always find people who are different than you really interesting, but in the long run, that's the stuff that drives you crazy. But so really, it's the people that are more similar in nature and share similar interests, etc., that can go the distance. And that just really, I mean, it just makes a lot of sense to me. Um, so maybe the person, if you are one of those people that are with someone now, maybe that's what it was. It was the opposite attract, but once everything dies down and you're left with, hey, I'm a neat person and you're a messy person, or I'm a, whatever it is, I'm a homebody and you like to go out all the time, it doesn't quite fit for the long run. But again, hot sex. Okay, career. Career. Let's see what's going on. Oh no, I just put all the cards back the wrong direction. Oh, I'll have to fix that. How the Nine of Pentacles is there. So some of you may just be like, screw it, I'm going to be single. And then just maybe, yeah, maybe that's it too. If you're in one of those relationships where you realize it just isn't working, maybe you're like, I'm just going to be single and like date and see people like Tinder or whatever you kids do these days, and not be tied down at all. And I guarantee you will meet someone. You will like meet the person you're going to marry. Once you truly get in that mindset, it's the universe is just, it has a sense of humor. It's like, oh really? You're gonna be a bachelor or bachelorette forever? You've totally embraced that? Well, here's the love of your life. How do you like me now? All right, career. Sometimes when I see career readings, I'm just like, I want my career to be not to not have to work. I like doing my tarot stuff, but my real job, I would prefer that I didn't have to work. So we'll see. The World. So I like that card. Well, let me get the rest of what's this one? Three of Cups. Okay. So some of you are going to yeah. Some of you are going to change jobs this year. Your job has become, well, there's the Tower. There's going to be potentially a shakeup, okay? And this came up for someone else, and I tell a story. I know no one likes to hear about my personal life, but it's the only stories I have to tell. At a job at a previous place of employment, I had only been there maybe not even about a year. And there were definitely issues with the office. I mean, it was very disorganized, and the data they would send out like spreadsheets of data and ask us to check it. And it wasn't just, oh, I found an error, I found a little error. It was like everything was wrong. I'm just like, where did these numbers even come from? I'm like, they were so far off. And they had gotten a new overall head person. So they came into my office and fired my manager, like pretty much more than half. It was close to 3/4 of the staff were either fired or quit or were pushed out because they dug their heels in and didn't want to change. And my old job was still open. So I had just had a baby. I was going through a divorce. It was like I had enough going on. So I went to my old boss and said, hey, it was a lateral move. I want my old job back. I don't know what the hell is going on up there. I was like crying. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I can't deal with all this stress. Even though I did agree with everything they were doing because it was disorganized. So she said, listen, you want your old job back? You got it. No problem. But it's situations like these where people can really earn their stripes, and you can either be part of the solution or part of the problem. And it just clicked in me, and I was like, yeah, I want to be I'm totally on board with the changes and having accurate data and stuff like that. Just, of course I'm on board with that. And so I decided to stay, and it I ended up getting a $3,000 bonus and put on a project to implement a new database and all this stuff. And it really did work out. And it was purely a mindset. It was just those words to me, and it just, something switched, and I was like, okay, this is an opportunity. So especially in the workplace, the Tower is an opportunity. And this happened to me in another job recently, actually. So I've learned that, hey, I'm here to work hard for you guys. Like, you employ me, so yes, I speak up if I see something concerning, but I'm on board. Tell me what I need to do. For some of you, you are going to leave because in the midst of this shakeup, you're like, you know what? Now I'm getting more work, and I'm just not willing to. It's going to get worse before it gets better, and you're done. You've been done. You've been done for a long time, and maybe some of you get laid off, or maybe what do they always do with Global Foundries near here? Oh, they early retirement. They like buy you out essentially, and you may be like, this is an opportunity for me, and this is an opportunity to move on to something else, because this World card does indicate the culmination and then a new beginning. So it just might be also the opportunity to move on and be like, yeah, This is a sign for me to move on. Some of you may get together with some other coworkers and start your own thing. Yeah. Or maybe one manager may decide he's breaking free when all this corporate stuff is going down and starting, and he's like, hey, I want you guys to come with me. You're my best people. We can do this. We can do this on our own and do it the right way and not have it be so corporate. And yeah, so there definitely, again, is going to be an opportunity, and it's going to unburden you. So it's like all those hours you've been working, killing yourself for seemingly, no one cares. Like this, and don't get stuck on gender. This person, this king of pentacles, this pentacle, so they're a manager, a big boss. They're very methodical and organized and everything. They may be instrumental in, again, turning this tower situation into the opportunity it is, as it shakes things up. And then anything that's not solid, think about an earthquake, comes and shakes things up, and the well-built structures on a good foundation can last, can survive it, but the weak ones can't, and it really sort of puts on display who the hard workers are and not. But sometimes the hard workers do get the raw end of the deal for a while. All right, let's get some overall spiritual cards. Four of Swords, Four of Wands. Interesting. What are these? Yeah. So some of you may fall in love with your boss. Like, seriously. And it causes, how people are just gossipy in the workplace. You may both end up leaving your job because you're not supposed to be dating the boss. And it's fine. You're just like good with it because you found that person. There's definitely, So the marriage card is out. But again, this is all about a strong foundation, milestones in life that once you've accomplished them, it then provides a strong foundation for you to move to the next level. So think about graduating from college, landing a big job, getting a promotion, getting married, moving in with someone, having a baby, your kids moving out of the house. You know what I mean? All the different big, but it's a very, because you have such a strong foundation, you have a strong spiritual practice, any sort of ups and downs you'll be able to weather well, because we had the meditation card, because you've really done the work spiritually to be able to stay centered. And while people are losing their minds around you and drama and all that stuff, you're able to just show up, be calm, and do what needs to be done. You may even get promoted, actually, to the manager because of how well you weather the storm when things get tough. This is also making some decisions this year that maybe other people are in your life, your family and loved ones are like, what the hell are you doing? Or really have a strong fear-based response to you leaving your corporate job or leaving your relationship because you found someone that is so right for you. You never thought you'd find someone that you meshed with so well. And you may get a lot of kickback, but this Emperor card says, hey, you're the one that has to deal with the consequences. So if your job is killing you and you stay in it because of what everyone else thinks, you're the one that has to be miserable. If you are in a relationship that doesn't work, first of all, it's not fair to the other person. But no one ever sees that side of it, right? They only see you broke up with so and so and broke their heart and blah blah. It's like, yeah, well, it wasn't working out, and you know what I mean. So you don't have to explain yourself. The emperor doesn't explain himself to anyone, but he's like, hey, this is my life and my decision. I understand. You know, you may not understand, but this is what I need to do because you're the one, again, that has to live with all the consequences. You may have a heart to heart with someone. This card, to me, I read differently in this deck. You can see these two people meeting over the water. They're up out of their emotions, out of the water, and meeting on neutral ground and saying, hey, we need, so I can see you having a real heart to heart with someone, like something that maybe you're in denial about your relationship or your career not being what you wanted it to be. And you're like, hey, listen, I got to be real and just have a discussion about how things are. You end with this super sweet Six of Cups, which for me is a card, I can't tell you, this growing up in Vermont in the summer, like this is, we were always at a watering hole with friends. This just reminds me of those simple times when you're just enjoying being outside, hanging out with good people. It's about the simple things in life, stopping and smelling the roses. So I can see you really, like, if you're going to step away from a corporate job, like downsizing your house, down, like simplifying your bills, getting rid of your big expensive cable package, stopping your gym membership and just walking outside, or figuring out ways to do it, like any sort of excessive things, making the changes necessary so that you want to live more simply, and you don't want to have your life cluttered with busyness and excessive things. So a real decluttering, that's I guess the best way, and really remembering what's important in this world and keeping that first and foremost, and not getting too sucked into, you know, if I don't work 60 hours a week, I'm not working hard enough. Like, it's like, no, I'm going to put my hours in and then I'm going home. And again, like, not worrying about what other people, hey, if something comes up that truly needs to be done, I'll stay. I'm there. I'm not saying I'm not going to do that, but I'm not going to stay just because if I don't go over the top, it's not considered doing a good, you know what I'm saying. I don't need to keep saying it. So that is your reading, Capricorn. Thank you so much and have a fantastic year, but I'll see you at the next video.